My name is Pung and I'm from Melbourne in Australia. The question most asked by my readers is, has your family read your book? And because my writing's about my family, I usually respond by saying yes or no. So my father has, with the help of a French and English dictionary, but my mother hasn't because she's illiterate. Two years ago, I stayed with a wonderful professor from Vassar College and his wife, and his name was Professor Ronald Sharp, and his study was his area of expertise was literature and friendship, and that's influenced a lot of what I've written, especially a book that he gave me 2 years ago by Lewis Hyde called The Gift, which the basic tenet of this book is that all art is a gift, and it fails, or it's terrible if you focus on it as something that's yours and you're creating it. But if you're doing it as a gift for someone or for a nameless, faceless group of people, then that's when you lose your sense of ego and it comes out. And I really, really like that, because I was brought up by my grandmother as a Buddhist. Makes sense. I wrote my first book when I was living at home with my parents, who were very loving, but my mother worked all the time. So that was the hardest environment, because I felt self-indulgent just sitting in my room writing while she was working, and she never stopped working. So writing to me has to be balanced with something else, other, work that I do, or it can't be a full-time thing. So the hardest circumstance in which I've written is when I tried for a couple of months to be a full-time writer. There is a spiritual dimension when I don't feel like I'm writing. Not that I feel possessed by some gift or anything, but when the writing speaks for itself, unhindered by my personality, my thoughts, or my opinions. My background has influenced my writing a lot. There's a great line in the Torah, the Jewish holy book, I'm not Jewish, I just know it, which is, we do not see things as they are, we see things as we are, and as objective as, you try to be in your writing, you can never really be. You're completely subjective. Your writing is influenced by the family in which you came from and your personal background. And I mostly write about families. I write family stories. And because I come from a Chinese Cambodian family who were refugees that settled in Australia, that's influenced a lot on my writing, and also class as well. So my parents came as Cambodian refugees, and we grew up in a very working class neighbourhood, and after university there was a huge shift. So I was in this process of middle classing myself with no, no more, or no, no place to take root. My parents couldn't help me, and that's what my writing is about. I think people who call themselves writers are entitled to, but it's difficult for me. I've never thought of myself as a writer or called myself that, and I try not to, because when I do, I feel kind of conceited. It's a verb, it's something you do, not something you are. You're not born innately knowing how to write. You don't come out with a frigging pen in your hands. It's a learned skill which I have to relearn with every new book, start from scratch, of just learning to write again. I can't do it.